Okay, so we're ready to have dinner tonight. I'm gonna get the fillets working. I've got a broiled tomato, so we know all about broiled tomatoes, right? Just the tomato, a little breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper. I turned some potatoes. I browned them off a little bit. I'm gonna finish them in the oven. I'm gonna do that right now while the steak is cooking. And then I've got some purple asparagus. And when you saw the video where I turned the tenderloin, I used the scraps with some shallots, a little garlic, a little bit of tomato paste, a bunch of red wine, reduced it down, strained it. This is a killer sauce. I also used some sauce that I kept from, remember when I made the braised short ribs? And I said I keep sauce. Well, I've got some of that in there too. So that is a really, really super good sauce right now. I'm going to finish that with some butter. And then I've got some fried shallot straws. I thinly sliced the shallots, dusted them with rice flour and fried them. So here we go. Make sure your fan's on because you want your skillet really hot. So I like to just put a little bit of oil on my steaks. And these have been sitting out for probably at least a half hour. I like to bring them to room temperature. They're not so cold. Season them, a little salt, kosher salt, a little black pepper. Okay, and in we go, nice and hot. On the asparagus, I had already blanched that earlier, so I peeled them a little bit, blanched them. Now I'm going to heat them up in just a little bit of a little butter and just a tiny bit of water. They're basically cooked. I'm just going to reheat them. On the sauce, I am going to swirl a little butter in there. And that just adds extra richness and body to the sauce. It also gives it a really nice shine to the sauce. I mean, look at that thing. It's really nice. So that's a reduction sauce. I haven't put any thickening agent in there. So it's just, it thickens by reducing it. So we're just going to get a really nice sear on these, and they're not that thick, so they're going to take, once I put them in the oven, maybe 4 minutes. They're not going to take long. I'm going to cook them for a couple minutes on each side, and yeah. So they're doing pretty good. As you can see, I've got everything set up over here for plating. I've got everything, I've got the straws. These are just a couple of the leaves from the sections from the shallots. So I'm gonna put those on top and put a little sauce in them. So I put a little bit of capers with that and then some chopped parsley. And then we'll be plating. So a nice sear there. Also on these, I'm going to put a little bit of Dijon mustard on one side. We typically eat our steaks medium rare, or rare, and obviously if you like yours a little more well done, it's going to take a little bit longer. But again, these are going to cook pretty quickly, especially since I'm letting them sit in here in the pan and get a nice sear. those in the oven real quick. Tomatoes and potatoes are doing good. The sauce is working out real nice here. Something going on. And the asparagus is going to be warm. I'm going to shut that off. I don't want to overcook them. And now Janice says she's learned how to edit this so she can take the center part out where we're standing here with nothing to do. So hopefully she can do that.
We'll see.
We'll see. If she can't, then here we are. And
This is when we drink our
yeah,
wine.
Yeah, and you know what? This is what we eat. Every time that I've done one of these little cooking videos, it's because it's what we're having for dinner. So the intent is to show you that it's not really hard to do. And then one of the other things that I always talk about is plating. So you need to think about what you're making and what you're going to put with it. So the colors, how it's going to look on the plate. You know, if you watch these cooking shows, you'll notice that they use the type of plates that they use. What they're putting, what the food's going to look like on the plate is real important. So, you know, our cabinets are full of all kinds of plates, and Janice is always, oh, don't look at those plates, because I love dishes. They really make a difference. How you put the food on those plates makes a difference. So if you took the same stuff I'm cooking now and I slapped it on a floured plate and just threw it on there and put some sauce over it and away you go, it's going to be totally different. And when you're in a restaurant and you're trying to sell that food, the same product is going to be able to sell for a lot more. So somebody said, what's the difference between a biscuit, a tomato biscuit and a cream tomato soup? And it's probably $4 or $5 a portion. It's the same thing. They just put a fancy spin on it. So you always want to make your food look good. And I'm sure most people that have had dinner here will tell you that I always try to make the food look good. I mean, you can't make green chili look good, it tastes great. Some things you really can't do, but for the most part, we want to make everything look really good. We're looking good. Okay, won't be long now. What else? What are you laughing for? Let's go. I think we're going to be pretty close here. Let's go ahead and
Don't rush it. That's my dinner.
go ahead and take these out. Okay. So let's plate this up. You'll notice even the plates, if there's the design on the plate, you need to have everything the same. So when you put it down, and you put it in front of somebody, all the plates are the same. I remember when I got out of the Army, I went to work at the Petroleum Club with a Swiss chef, and I was making hors d'oeuvres and canapes. And it came out, man, every piece had to be exactly the same, facing the same way. It was, but when you got done, they were all exactly the same. And that's important. Consistency. Plus, when you cut everything the same way, they're gonna cook the same way. If you cut these potatoes and they weren't the same size, one would be done or overdone and the other one would be done. So it's important. Come on now. There we go. sauce. So, now put our onions on top, or shallots, I should say. Okay, now let's put some capers.
And those are capers.
Okay, I said capers.
Okay.
And this is our shallot. And we'll finish it with a little parsley. And there you have it, guys. There's our dinner.